Guys, so we're gonna put Reborn Dustin together, and I have some glass beads. I have a couple different types. These are for his limbs, and then I have other ones for his body. Kind of a funny story. I ordered a 50-pound box of glass beads, and this is what I got. Obviously not a 50-pound box, but I was out of my smaller glass beads that I like for limbs to avoid crunchiness, so I just opened it and counted it as a lesson to read the fine print. But we'll do his legs first. And I really like these. These beads are the same size as my giant buckets are, but they are 80 to 100 grit, so they are very, very fine. And if you do get blast media beads, you just want to make sure that it actually says glass beads, not just media glass, which are typically crushed glass. And those can like cut vinyl over time, and I mean, I've never actually heard of it happening, but that's what people say, so I just err on the side of caution, and I always make sure I get glass bead. And I did the beads to about right here. Let me see if I can smush them up so you could see. And I just have some regular polyfill over here. And we're just going to go ahead and fill the rest up with polyfill. And this is just an old wooden dowel that I got for who knows what at some point. I've had it the entire time I've been reborning, believe it or not. But I'm just packing that in very, very tight. And that's pretty rare that I get the exact right amount. But I just want to make sure there is no crunch. And I sign all my limbs. And I'm just going to use this, which I cut before making this, but it is just moleskin that comes in a roll, and I just cut it to size. And I just put it right over and stick it on. And that is that. And you just kind of want to move the leg around, make sure that it's getting into the foot, into everywhere. Especially if they're slightly bent. If you don't do that, sometimes they can settle, and you want to make sure that it's packed full. Alright, so this one is to the same area, just about here, just a little bit above the knee. See if we can get the right amount twice in a row. And well, just a little bit more than that. And again, it feels good, no crunching or anything. And same thing. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Of course, the dogs started barking. I don't think they've barked once all day until right now. I think the neighbor girls are playing outside. They're like screaming and stuff. And our dogs really, really love them a lot. So whenever they make noise out there, they're going crazy at the fence trying to play. So this one is a little bit high. I meant to fill it about here, but it is about here. So I'm just going to dump a little bit out, and that looks good. And I need a bit more. And you really just want to pack it as far in as you can, or as much in as you can. And again, no crunching, it feels good. So this one is bent a lot more, so I'm gonna really tilt it and stretch it a bit. Make sure that the glass beads get all the way down into the hand. And again, I just did a little bit too much, so just dump a little bit out, and that is perfect. Alright, now we'll do the head. So I have just a regular knee-high stocking. And the easiest way I have found to do the head, I already have my hair glued, and a magnet is already also in there for a pacifier. So I just put my knee-high in. And just wrap it around the head. And then I'm just going to stick my funnel right in the head. And there's no exact amount that, oh my god, you guys, get out of here. Sorry about that. But there's no exact amount that I put in here. I just kind of feel the head. I give it a shake every now and then, so that the glass beads spread out in the stocking there. And this will probably be the last one. And then I just go ahead and tie my stocking and press the rest in. This one I want towards the back. And that is really a personal preference. Some people like the weight towards the front, others like it towards the back. It really doesn't matter that much. If you weight it towards the back, if you have it this way, the head's still gonna flop forward. And we're just gonna stuff the rest with polyfill. And the limbs, you really want to get as much polyfill in as you possibly can. The head, you need to watch a little bit more. You want it full, but you don't want it too full. If you overstuff it, it can mess with the face shape. This feels good. It's firm there. His profile looks right. The front of his face looks right. So this is a good amount of polyfill in there. I'm kind of interested to see exactly how long this takes. Somebody asked me that the other day, like how long it takes me to assemble. I guessed about half an hour, but I wasn't sure. So I'm just kind of doing it right now at the normal speed I would do it at, and we'll see how it comes out. All right, so for body stuffing, I do that. I'm using some different materials. I'm going to use glass beads. These are from Bountiful Baby. These are larger glass beads than the ultra fine 100 grit that I like in the limbs. The reason that I use these instead of the ultra fine ones are the really ultra fine ones can feel like little rocks in the body. So I just like to use the larger ones. It makes it feel more soft and cuddly. And I have angel silk here instead of regular polyfill, and I have some silicone glass beads also. I mean, sorry, not silicone glass beads, silicone baby fat pellets. Okay, so this first stocking is going to be for the butt. So I'm going to do one, this is, what is this? Probably a half a cup, I'm guessing, of glass beads. And then the same amount of silicone baby fat pellets. And that will be one butt cheek. And then I'm just going to tie a knot in there. These get everywhere. They stick to this blanket too. Normally I don't do it on this blanket, but it's kind of the best place for me to do stuff with my camera placement. So, all right, and this is a Bountiful Baby body. This is, I think, number 3585, which is a 20-inch body, which is what Dustin is. And I'm not pulling these tight yet, I'm just threading them. Sorry, I didn't realize. I think Odin kind of knocked this a little bit when he was running around a few minutes ago. Hopefully it hasn't been like that for a long time and everything's been out of view. I'll have to check it before I upload it. Alright, so this are a premium body from, this is a premium body from Bountiful Baby. I can't talk. So the limb holes are closed. So normally I would put this in through the thigh, one of the leg holes. I can't, so I just put it in through the body, through the neck hole. Jeez, I'm not normally this bad at, sorry guys. And then I just go in, kind of find the knot and push them into the correct sides there, so that it fills the butt like that, and the knot is right there in the middle, but you can't feel it, but it's there. Alright, so next I'm going to take a little, just a little bit of my regular firm polyfill, and I'm just going to push that down into the crotch area a little bit here. And then I'm going to take some of my angel silk. And for those that don't know the difference, this is angel silk and this is regular polyfill. You could tell this feels and looks like polyester. This is like a little cloud. So I like using these in bodies. They make everything feel just so much softer. It just feels higher quality. So I'm just putting a little tiny bit in the butt. Not too much, just a little bit over the glass bead and baby fat pellet stocking. And then I'm going to take a larger amount and just put it in the tummy here. And I just made kind of a little divot in the middle there. And I'm going to take another one of my stockings, just stick it right in the middle. And on normal bodies, I don't do this. I just fill the stocking first and then I put it in. But these neck holes are really tight on these bodies, so it makes it more difficult. So this is kind of the easy way if you have trouble getting the stocking into the body. And I'm going to have more glass beads in here than I did in the little butt thing. And I'm just kind of pushing them down. Do some more baby fat pellets. I'll do a couple of these. And you probably hear a lot, silicone is not compatible with vinyl. You don't want them touching. It is 100% fine to use inside of the body encased in stocking. That is completely fine. It can't touch the vinyl and there's no interaction at all that way. I'm just going to do one more. And then this is going to be heavy enough. Just going to tie my stocking off. Put it in there. And then I'm just gonna keep stuffing with angel silk. I'm gonna put a little bit more on the front of that stocking on each side. When you squeeze the body, I don't want you to be able to feel the stocking. I just want it encased in the center. And that feels really, really nice so far. All right, that feels pretty good. I'm going to smush this down a little bit. I'm going to take some of my firm regular polyfill, and I'm just going to use it in the shoulder area. And I do this because angel silk tends to settle a little bit faster than the firm polyfill. This stuff, it will settle over time, but it holds its shape a bit more. So I just like using it in the shoulder area so that suddenly, you know, the baby isn't sagged like that. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit more here. I'm just kind of making a little divot there where the head's going to go. And the limbs I have already coated, and I just use this LA Colors Rapid Dry top coat. Some people use super glue, which is fine to use. I've had a couple incidents with super glue where it dripped, so I personally do not like using super glue. So for this, I want to make sure that it's not coming out if you pull on it at a regular thing, but that you can still turn it. So this is perfect. And I have my cuticle nippers here. I'm just gonna cut that off. And I can feel that feels smooth. And I'm just gonna tuck that right inside so that you can't see it anymore. It looks like this before. Some of these on the Bountiful Baby bodies are so small that you, even with the ultra fine zip ties, you cannot get the head of the zip tie in. So with these bodies, a lot of times I can't get it in on the head, but I just kind of try my best. And after you cut your zip tie, you just want to feel and make sure that there's no sharp edge there. Let me grab where my tweezers. Having a hard time with my fingers. Sometimes you can grab the flap with tweezers and pull it over a little bit easier there. There we go. Okay. Now we're just gonna sit Dustin up here and grab an arm. And same thing, you want to make sure it doesn't pull out easy, but that it still turns well. That one went in much easier. And I have a tiny bit of an edge there. There we go. If you don't check these, sometimes they can scratch the paint around here, which is why you just want to feel it after you nip it and just make sure. Okay, this one is going to be a problem. This one is sewn very, very, very tight, and it is not going. Try it on the other side. I'm just trying to kind of stretch it out without fraying it or tearing it. I expected this on the head. I had good high hopes for this arm since the other one was so easy. Okay, here we go. Ugh, I stretched it just barely enough to cover. I'll mess with that a little bit more later and see if I can get it in a little bit better there. And it'll be the same thing with the head. And let's see if we can get this one to cover. As I expected, this one is really tight also. Oh, I got it. Woohoo! All right. So that is it, you guys. Dustin is assembled. And you can see everything turns. He feels super, super squishy. You can smush him around. Oh my God, that was not good. Okay, that is exactly why I do this. As far as like pulling on the limbs and everything. I haven't had that happen in a really, really, really long time. All right, so now I have to try to get this darn thing out. I'm glad that happened here with me and not with, you know, at his new home. So I'm just gonna grab a replacement zip tie. That one went in pretty easy. I have a really hard time sometimes with these premium bodies from Bountiful Baby when I try to thread in new zip ties. Sometimes they get stuck at the seams and are really difficult. All right, let's try this again. I'm not going to edit that out either because this does really happen in real life, obviously. Alright, so this is tight. This is not going anywhere, but I could still turn it. And hopefully it'll be easier to get back in since I already stretched out the covering there. And it was. All right, guys, so there he is now. Gosh, I need to fix his hair. Well, I need to do a lot of things still with him, take photos and all that kind of stuff. But that is Dustin getting assembled. I hope that that was helpful to somebody. Oh my God, and look at that. 29 minutes and 35 seconds. So it does take me about half an hour to assemble each one. But all right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.